The Crucible Knight Evergaol is one of the most underrated and mechanically rich boss fight not just in Elden Ring, but possibly in the entire Souls franchise. Almost no one talks about it, yet it is one of the most enjoyable bosses in the entire game to master for posture breaks. See, what is so baffling to me is that there is no well executed no-hit runs on YouTube with level 1 club for Crucible Knight. A run where you're not parrying constantly to avoid his extremely complex moveset, but answering all his moves with the well-timed dodges and executed punishes. This boss is so challenging and complex that not even challenge runners who are supposed to master bosses isn't fully able to, and they just parry him instead, or they play a more passive play by running away. I'm not taking anything from parrying, however, I would be making the argument here that parrying is not something you do to avoid learning the moveset of the boss. Parrying, just like all styles of playing, should be a personal preference and not a means to conveniently circumvent relentless combo branches. This is a video that will hopefully remedy this overall perception of this incredible boss, and I have to show you guys how amazing and enjoyable it is to fight this guy level 1 club and no parry, purely by mastering his moveset with insane level of aggression and posture breaking him left and right. Crucible Knight has a branching moveset that is more complex than almost all the shardbearers in Elden Ring. That is, if you attempt to answer each of his attacks and punish him properly. If you guys remember my previous video on defending Elden Ring's bosses, I have made the argument that it is possible to beat all of these bosses while baiting out 1 or 2 attacks and running away for the rest. But that's not how you access the deepest mechanics of the game. The inherent nature of unpredictability that resides in Crucible Knight, especially in the second phase, is so high that no challenge runner attempts to evenly maintain aggression throughout the fight to get those sweet posture breaks. Always maintaining some sort of distance periodically, constantly waiting for him to initiate the first attack to get the safest of punish windows. And although that is understandable for a no-hit run, as you can clearly see from the gameplay, that is not how I master Elden Ring's combat. Posture breaking is the name of the game, and you guessed it, almost none of the no-hit runs on YouTube can reliably and consistently posture break the Crucible Knight. When you compare Crucible Knight with Margit, for instance, he has an increased resistance to posture breaking as a whole. It takes so much more aggression to be able to posture break Crucible Knight. When you compare him to Malenia, he has an incredibly high poise where he doesn't flinch from any attack. So it's not an option to use aggression as a clutch in order to stop attacks mid-execution like in Malenia. In many of my runs, I was sure that my level of aggression was enough to posture break Crucible Knight. However, it wasn't. You have to be absolutely relentless to get your punish, and unlike in Margit, where some leeway and passivity is allowed, Crucible Knight simply does not. And if you've played Crucible Knight by baiting out a few attacks, thinking that he's so aggressive that posture breaking is impossible, and that's the best anyone can ever do, I hope that my final run here, which we'll get to at the end of my video, will fill you with inspiration. The inspiration to try him out next time yourself, to humiliate him. In my first playthrough of Elden Ring, I have beaten this Evergaol, this Crucible Knight, as a 10 vigor wretch with a claymore +2 in my hands. Make no mistake, that was a very challenging fight, and I've loved every second of it, mastering a good number of his moves before defeating him. However, after coming back to play with him with a club, level 1, naked, and with posture breaking in mind, I've realized his complexity was significantly higher than I've given him credit for. The weapons you use in Elden Ring tangibly changes your punish styles and windows. We've touched upon this in my analysis video before. A claymore is a long-reach weapon. Club is a way shorter weapon in comparison. With claymore you can take less swings but make them count. With a club you can swing more, but you need to make it contact. With such an aggressive boss with so narrow punish windows, it makes your job that much harder. A claymore has a length that I don't have to think about spacing that much. When I do a roll R1 for instance, I know that a claymore will at least contact Crucible Knight because of the length of the weapon. But roll R1 with a club is completely different. Your dodge needs to land in close proximity to him for your roll R1 to even make contact. And you don't have the time to get close to him most of the times because the punish windows are extremely narrow for Crucible Knight. You have to be very precise in your dodges and rolls. So unlike my first playthrough where the long reach of my claymore made spacing more straightforward, I've realized how much more challenging he was to fight with a club, how hard it is to fill that posture bar, how hard it is to dodge in a way where it is possible to punish him afterwards. But before we get deeper, I want to show you my suffering. Let's look at how my fresh and beginner level gameplay looks like with Crucible Knight. How little understanding and confidence I have with my attacks, and how much stronger of a grasp in terms of battle techniques that Crucible Knight has.
Hello, darkness, my old friend. I've come to talk with you again.
As you can see, I have no idea what I'm doing here. Barely posture breaking him, let alone dishing out a respectable level of aggression without constantly being punished. Crucible Knight is not like the others. He's relentless and combines his moveset in novel ways to confuse me. If I wanted to defeat him, I needed to dive deep into his battle techniques. To get to an intermediate skill level, let's start with his most renowned double spin attack. What is the best way to deal with this demanding move? The initial tendency is to run away and wait for him to complete his move to get the punish. However, this introduces even more problems down the line due to increased passivity. It is best to jump counter the initial Ruck Underground attack and then do a dodge towards the left, allowing complete immunity from his first spin attack. And just before he finished his final spin attack, I punish him with a jump R2 mid-swing and a fully charged attack at the very end of his combo. Giving me enough time to dodge whatever combo he starts afterwards. But here's the thing, this wasn't good enough. I could go even further if I exploit a particular positioning strategy. I have realized there's a key weakness in his technique that I can exploit if I'm precise enough. See, instead of dodging far away to the left like a coward, I can close some distance first and dodge near his body to his left, allowing me a quick roll R1 with immunity from his first spin attack and its follow-up. After this, I need to quickly back up a bit to dodge his first spin attack and punish the rest with a jump and charged R2. This roll R1 punish I've constructed will be invaluable as I need all the attack opportunities to build up the posture bar. Here is the beauty of this game's mechanics. You don't have to find this particular punish to fight him. You can simply do a safer punish with dodging all of his double spin attacks to get the safe charged R2 at the end. However, the downside to making this safer punish is that I'm getting posture damage from 3 separate attacks: roll R1, jump R2, and charged R2. With the safer punish, you are only getting it from charged R2 at the end. This means I will posture break him way faster than your safe punish. Why is this important? Because Crucible Knight has a very demanding rhythm you're gonna see very soon, and giving him even an ounce of breathing space will result in semi or complete reset of his posture bar, making all the aggression you've had on him till then completely nullified. This is one of the fiercest opponents in the game, and you need some skin in the game, risking some of that damage to be able to posture break him. Now it is time to show you my intermediate level attempt. I have an understanding of some of his movesets, yet he's providing an admirable level of challenge still. Even with my best efforts, as Malenia puts it, his strength truly befits a crown. See, to be able to completely master Crucible Knight, I needed something else. His second phase is extremely unpredictable. He is utilizing his tail swipe attack to prevent any and all aggression from me. When he flies away, if I run towards him to get my jump attack, he immediately whips out a tail swipe to punish me instead. However, if I don't run and risk this damage, then his posture bar will reset due to passivity, and the second phase will turn into a battle of attrition, a longer battle chipping away at his health. The more time I spend in the second phase, the less precise I am, the more chances he will have to defeat me. I need to balance my level of aggression so precisely that I can't get caught in his tail swipes, and jump R2 them whenever possible to add pressure to the posture bar. I also need to close the gap very quickly and initiate aggression when he flies in the opposite direction. Waiting around aimlessly is only gonna help him. See, the problem is not that I didn't have the skills to defeat Crucible Knight. I know how to answer his attacks. However, what I lacked was temperament, the right mindset, the control over my emotions. That psychological barrier is what I needed to push through to attain mastery. I needed a very particular balance of aggression and defense in the second phase. I can't go all in unless I'm absolutely sure that risking damage would at least guarantee a posture break. But before I show you the culmination of this exploration, I want to compare Malenia with Crucible Knight first. See, Malenia is a boss I want to discuss on this channel, so I don't want to give too many spoilers, but it is safe to say, for the most part, for me, I really like Malenia. However, if you look at her actual movesets, although she's probably the most challenging boss FromSoft has ever made, she has these difficulty spikes. Not all of her attacks are as demanding. With both Ghost Malenias and Waterfowl Dance, her flow dictates potentially lethal attacks if you can't be precise in your answers. Crucible Knight takes a bit of a different approach. He is more consistently demanding than Malenia. He doesn't have these huge difficulty spikes, but keeps an even keel in terms of complexity, and especially increasing the unpredictability and instilling hesitation with his tail swipes in the second phase. Crucible Knight may not be, strictly speaking, the most challenging boss in Elden Ring. However, he is one of the most mechanically complex and demanding boss in From Software's catalog if you want to posture break him like I do, consistently and with aggression. With this renewed resolve, with this right mindset, with the flames of ambition by my side, I've decided to utterly and completely humiliate Crucible Knight. Enjoy. Hello everyone, if you enjoyed this analysis, support me on Patreon in the description, subscribe, like, and comment if you want me to continue making videos like this. I hope that I was able to convey the joy that resides in mastering Crucible Knight. It's a very underrated fight in Elden Ring, and I hope this video at least spreads some awareness on how amazing this boss is. I really want you to try him out next time you start Elden Ring. I hope that this video inspires you to have a rematch. As always, thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.